guys. Good morning. Good morning. I don't see Mimi. Speed, that is correct. All right. I believe we got everything turned up correctly. Buenos dias. Good morning. Hope all is well. Hope you had a great weekend. That you are ready for a brand new trading week. Hope you made some good money last week. Let's jump into the market while we still can. For our pre-market information, I'm gonna blow this up closer so y'all can see it. All right. Dow futures is up 0.09%. S&P futures is down 0.06%. And NAS futures is down 0.20%. NASDAQ futures slip after winning week as NVIDIA falls. Uh-oh. I know somebody that wasn't happy to hear that. For the European markets, FTSE Milano is the only one that is down. It is down by a little bit, 0.12%. Asia is actually, I guess technically you could say is mostly up. The Nifty 50 is down 0.24%, and Shanghai is down 0.05%. China is pledging more proactive stimulus measures. As I'm pretty sure you all are all aware, every country has the same type of issues that we have in terms of trying to balance out the economy and make sure we're making enough money, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm not surprised to see what they are trying to work on themselves over there. For earnings for this week, let me hit the main ones first. So after close on Monday, today, C3AI and Oracle, I think are the main two that are of note from this group that Earnings Whispers has selected out. For Tuesday, I would say possibly GameStop, only because a lot of people trade it. But it is a meme stock. Macy's probably for Wednesday before the open will probably of some significance. After the close, though, on Wednesday, Adobe is definitely one I think people will be looking at. And then in terms of, so that's Wednesday after close. Thursday after close, Broadcom and Costco are the two that I think a lot of people would be paying attention to. Of course, in terms of tech, Broadcom, but in terms of consumer staples, I would say Costco Thursday. Now, those are the ones that may, cause some ripples in their individual spaces. But a lot of us are familiar with RH, that ticker for Thursday after close, of course. If we come back to Monday, Rent the Runway. I know some people have mentioned that one in the past, but we also have Momo versus Bank. They all reported before the opening. MongoDB in terms of tech, that's a database. Planet, Toll Brothers, which is I would say would be considered a competitor of Home Depot and Lowe's, I believe. Braves Health Equity and Vail Resorts, along with KC and Yext. That's after close today. AutoZone Academy Outdoors is tomorrow before open. With designer brands, Hepsi Barada, Ferguson, Unfi, Johnson Outdoors, who's probably competing with Academy, probably Dick's Sporting Goods, Money Hero, G3 is all before the open. You got GameStop, Stitch Fitch after close on Tuesday, along with Dave & Buster's, Mama Creations, Skillsoft, and Sportsman's Warehouse, another competitor with Academy Outdoors. So these Sportsman's Warehouse, Academy Outdoors, and the Johnson Outdoors, in this situation, I'll be looking to see what's going on with the sector ETF XLY, which is consumer discretionary. I'll be looking to see what's going on with that for this week and next week. Before open on Wednesday is Macy's Boss, Vera Bradley, Water Drop, Kung Knight, which is in the tech space, Rev G and Photronics. And then on Wednesday after close, along with Adobe, is Nordson and Oxford. They are reporting Thursday before the open. Lovesac, Sienna's in the tech space. Lee Enterprises and Liquidity Services. After close with Broadcom and Costco and RH, we have Quanex. And there's nothing reported for Friday before the open. All right, so there's no what we might refer to as heavy hitters, let's call it that. I shouldn't say no heavy hitters, that's not true. AutoZone is the one that I think I forgot to mention. AutoZone is sitting up there as well before open on Tuesday. So there's nothing, that I would say we would normally see as one, the big tech, where they call it Mount Fang and all the other stuff. But I know that Adobe does tend to create waves, and Broadcom tends to create waves. But in terms of the news, C3 AI, because everybody is technically at this point being forced to deal with Chat GPT, and so C3 AI is kind of riding that wave, if you will. So we can say that I believe that that's a factor. For our calendar today, for Forex Factory, final wholesale inventories month over month is at 10 o'clock. That is it's the yellow folder. That is the only thing that is being reported over here on Forex Factory. So we knew how that works. Forex Factory has one set of information, and then investing.com has another set of information. Okay, so let's check them out. We're only looking for the ones for the US. So we have, in 31 minutes, we have 1-star events, the CB Employment Trends Index for November, the wholesale inventories month over month for October, the 3-month and the 6-month bill auction are all 1 stars. The bill auctions are at 11:30. Okay, also at 11:30 is a 2-star event right here, which is the New York Fed 1-year consumer inflation expectations for November. And remember, we have the University of Michigan consumer inflation expectations, and I believe that was last week. So this week is the New York Fed. That's a 2-star event at 11:30 on today. And now that I'm looking at it, that's the last thing that is being reported in terms of the United States. So as of 11:30, whatever is going on right here, this is it. Of course, this has nothing to do with the news, quote unquote, overall news. If you are following the United Healthcare story, there has actually been no update in terms of the motive. United Healthcare would fall into the XLV sector ETF, or UNH stock ticker. So I have not seen any new news outside of them saying that the person who shot the CEO came up, I guess he caught a bus from Atlanta, Georgia, up to New York. But in terms of a specific suspect, they haven't really said anything. I know how that works. There may not be any information. Over the past couple of weeks, I've been mentioning this. People are trying to ask, will Bitcoin reach its $1 million milestone in 2025? I've been saying the whole time people need to kind of pump their brakes and stop trying to force the issue. But that's what I've been referring to, is this comment, because this has been popping up a lot. All right, so let's take a look at our Mancini numbers. If you have any tickers you would like looked at, please do drop them in our comment box. Also, good morning, Janae. Good morning, Lady T. Good morning, Lisa Henry and Ward. Good morning, Sabrina and Drew and Uncolly Rubuche. Good morning. On Friday at 8:30 a.m., the 6077 reclaim triggered, long to 6100 target. Since then, SPX has been basing with 6077 now support. We are building a 3-day megaphone. A 3-day megaphone. Plan, tested 6077. 6070 is support. So if it rallies, 6098 to 6106 and higher is in play as long as it's above it. All right. 6070 fails, sells trigger to 6057. All right. Judy Thorpe, good morning. 6057. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put this on our chart. Put this on the chart. This is Thinkorswim. And this is a 15-minute chart on Thinkorswim. And if you are in our Telegram group, we are going to make sure that these Mancini numbers are being dropped in the group right now, because I do have a habit of missing that. So my apologies. All right. So what's happened here, this is SPX on the 15-minute chart. We have a gap down to start for today. Also on the 15-minute chart, and I'm expecting these gaps to not be there the whole day, but I'm going to mark them anyway. So this is a gap from when the last session gapped up. It did not come down and close this gap right here. Okay. On if you're on a Windows machine and you highlight a line, or really most of the drawing tools, you want to copy it, you just hit the space bar. Just click on it and hit the space bar. And then that's how you copy it. You on a Windows machine. It doesn't work the same way on Mac. At least not in my experience so far. But it's pretty simple on the Windows machine. So what I'm marking right here is just the gap that started today when it dropped down, and then again from last week. All right. Now we're going to put the Mancini numbers on here. This is a previous gap as well. Let's use that one. All right. So here we go. We're saying that 6070 is support. I'm going to drop this on here. 6070 is support. So support. Right. Find that. Whoops. Let's do this. Show the name on the right. All right. So we got a support price right here for 6070. Okay. We want 6098. We'll just put in play for 6098. And 6106. Right, 6098 and 6106. This is going to bother me. I don't. So 6098 and 6106. which means it can go higher. It can go higher than 6106. But we're just putting the numbers that are in play right now. Well, just in case somebody comes back to it on the video and is looking for the numbers. Oh, my screen having them separate is fine, but I keep forgetting other people are looking at these numbers. All right, so okay, if 6070 fails, now we're going down to 6057. So we're gonna drop 6057 in here, and well, actually, let's do it this way. 6057. Okay. Now let's put trigger to here. That's what we got. This is a gap from a previous. This was a gap for this December 3rd. This did not get filled, so that gap is still there. So that's why that square is still there. All right, but for right now, this is what we got. 6098 is in play, 6106 is in play. You got support 6070. Breaks down past here. Probably sell to 6057 and expect some type of reaction. These are the Mancini numbers. This is why the drawing set I have in the bottom corner down here says Mancini, because I put in this case I created a drawing set just for adding that information to the chart. So there's that. Right. So let's look at SPY is going to look the same as SPX, but we'll take a look at the SPY chart right now. And to be honest with you, it looks like after this run up, it is starting to find its seller zone. Okay, so let's see here. So what I'm seeing is leg in, base, leg out. So I'm seeing just a buyer zone right now, or yeah, I'm seeing just a buyer zone right now with a gap up that happened some days ago. Right there. So in other words, when this comes down to 604, it would not surprise me if it comes down, bounces, or bases here a little bit or something, because this is a buyer's gap. Buyers push this price up. So you got buyers that are sitting in there. So for those of you who are sellers, you sell options. I mean, I personally would not be getting in right now, but I would be looking just to see what's going on. Is that 7? I'll probably be looking about 605. But this would be 0 DTE, which is meaning that this would be expiring today, but on $100 collateral, this is a one spread, 605 minus 604. So one spread times 100 per contract. So this is one contract. So this would be 8 cents or $8 collected on $100 collateral. So that's 8% return on collateral for that. Some people would just increase this to 0.10, so you would get 10% return on collateral as well. And of course, you'll be buying it back for a lower amount, and that's what your profit would be. But 605 is 80% off the money. There has not been a seller's level established, at least not to my liking. But there are some people who will just go with this out the money, 84% out the money, which is a 84% chance that this will be a trade that moves in my favor. So that would be $9. Again, you can increase that to 10, so you can get 10% return on collateral. So that would be a possible iron condor opportunity, meaning you could do a credit spread on both sides. But I personally don't trust anything with SPX, SPY, S&P 500 when it comes to being above it at a, without it establishing something up front. So I don't really see a formation that I can say is all that clear, but those are what the numbers are. So switch back to Nangali is asking, what does Mancini mean by megaphone? If I'm guessing, so Mancini trades the futures, ES futures. So we convert what he's saying. We convert what he's saying to SPX. So I'm saying that just to say, so what he's saying might be a little bit different from what we normally would, I guess, reference. But if I'm guessing, what he's talking about is this broadening formation. That would look something like this. This is not exact on this on my chart. I'm looking at this on my day chart. Matter of fact, so this is a megaphone. So there's a it's called a broadening formation, and essentially what he's saying is that usually what people do is they'll pick a particular point, but you're just basically looking at the higher highs, right? And you kind of just marking the higher highs. For me, it's just more of a trend, another form of a trend line. But people use this broadening formation for different reasons. But the idea is, as you can see, the further it's getting away from this point, the wider this is getting, right? Some people would make trades based on, maybe they wouldn't make trades based on the broadening formation itself, but at least it gives them an idea of where they can see prices going. And so this shape is a megaphone, right? That means price is bouncing out and going this way. So that's my understanding of the megaphone, and that's how I use it. Sometimes people will see a megaphone, they'll draw the megaphone, and they'll see that price will be doing what it's doing now, getting close to it, so that lets them know to start looking out for some type of activity. High, it could turn around. There's a whole bunch of different ways that people can use it, but the shape of this formation, this broadening formation, is a megaphone shape, right? So I believe that's what he's referring to. Mancini gives you good information, but it's sometimes if you don't know what he's talking about, I'd be like, what is this? Sounds cryptic. All right. Good morning, Iris Davidson. Good morning. I want to say it's either Delisha or Delisha Davis. I don't know the phonetic spelling of that one. All right, so we have already our first candle, our 15-minute candle right here. So for those of you who trade the 15-minute breakout, our first candle has formed right here on SPX. So that's what we'll be watching for the rest of the day. This is Russell 2000 small cap stocks. Again, on this chart, the pink boxes represents the gaps that have happened and the status of those gaps if they have not been filled yet. And this was a gap up from today. Right, so this gapped up from the last session. These orange dash lines, this is on the 15-minute chart for Russell. These orange dash lines just represent the 4-hour price. All right, where price has turned around and has been touched on the 4-hour chart. So that's what that's for. Then these green lines, represents what has happened with the 15-minute chart. The lines have been touched in the past on the 15-minute chart consistently. So that's what those lines are. So I am just marking the 15-minute line, the 15-minute candle for Russell 2000, which is the small cap stocks. And some of us trade the breakout for that. Right. The breakout being wait to see if it breaks up or breaks down, bearish or bullish, and make trades from there. Many times I see Russell will break out of its 15-minute before SPX. I see that quite a bit. Right now, SPX might be finally breaking out of its, but so right now you have movement right here. It's still within that 15-minute first candle for SPX, but Russell was already started taking off. So that's what I'm referring to. Okay. We have one request for UPS. So we're going to put UPS up here. This is Thinkorswim. That we are using. Ooh, wow. UPS is at all-time low. All right. I'll say it's almost at all-time low. Okay. Dang, UPS. What y'all over there doing or not doing? Okay. So here's what we got for this. This is a low point. So this is what I meant earlier when I was referencing swing points, and I'm going to put a little bit more time on here. Just a little bit more time on the month, just in case. So this is month 5 year. I'm just going to edit this to be 10 years, which will give me a little bit more data to work with. So I just wanted to see how much more was back here, because what I saw was it looked like it was, this might be a price point that I want to mark, and that happened to be correct. So I'm on the monthly chart and I'm just marking what I was saying earlier, where I see prices turned around before. It's called a parity line. So what's happening in this case is this price point, 123-ish, this has been resistance for a few times, right? And definitely 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020. It finally broke through here in 2020, and when it came back down, is now providing support, the same price. So that line is what's called a parity line because it has been resistance and support. And so that's something to note when it rotates between the two. It may not do the same thing each time, but that lets me know that there is something going on with that price point. So that's why I mark it the way I do on the monthly, really monthly, weekly, all of those. But this one in particular has my attention because of where it's located. So that's why I switched to the 10-year to give me some more data, because all I saw was like a little bit of a turn, and it turned out to be more, a little bit more that's there. So I'll just do these two, worry about these two for right now. And really going up, I would say this one up here. Again, I'm just looking at where price turned around in the past. We could do the same thing for right here. This price came up, turned around, but it's mostly been dropping. But I don't want to inundate y'all with a whole bunch of lines on the chart. So, but this just happens to be a chart that has a lot of sellers. And I can just tell by these wicks. Anytime you see wicks, that means that there was price going in one direction, and all of a sudden it hit something and pressure started coming from the opposite direction. And that's what I'm seeing here on these wicks. So I don't know why I thought UPS and I have to check FedEx to see what's going on with them. But yeah, I don't see any thing I would need to worry about right now on the weekly for what we're about to do. Okay. So I see something happening right here. Going to mark this, and then we're going to go to the options chain. See what the options chain is looking like. All right. Boom and boom. What I'm seeing here is just a chair formation. Leg in, two in the base, leg out is what I see there. I'm about to skip past. Yeah, I will skip past this one. Go to something lower. See what we got this lower. All right. So this is the one that will be down here that I'll be looking at, which is another chair. This is 728.20. All right, 728.20. So just gonna write that on the chart. BZ is buyer zone. 728.20. Put what it is. It's a chair. All right. So in this case, this is our buyer zone down here. This is our seller zone. And show the price on the right, so you can see that. All right. So we have a seller zone up here, buyer zone here, and this dash is the weekly. This is the weekly price point, the parity line I was talking about earlier. So it would not surprise me if this comes down and hits this line and either stalls or turns around or something like that. But at least I have an idea that something could happen. And that's why I marked it on the higher time frames, those turnaround points on the higher time frames. So if I'm looking at this from a seller's perspective, I would be looking at it for a put credit spread to be above price to take advantage of it going down. I'll be somewhere around 129. So I wouldn't jump in right this second, but for UPS, $100 collateral, collecting 15 cents or $15. So that's 15% return on collateral, more than 10 cents. So I would not have a problem with that. All right. I would not have a problem with that. Okay. Good morning, S. Jones. This is Thinkorswim by TD Ameritrade is what I'm using. Thinkorswim by TD Ameritrade. All right, so that's what we got for UPS. Out of curiosity, oh, so FedEx and UPS are both dropping. Okay, I got you. I was wrong on this, by the way. This might have been because of the election. Yeah. So I had this all set up, was following it, thought this was going to be a bearish wedge, man. That election happened, turned that whole thing around. I haven't looked at FedEx in a minute. All right. We normally take a look at let's say SPY already. So we normally take a look at IWM, which is Russell, and then we do triple Q. And actually, let's do this first. Let's see if it is broken out of the 15-minute. SPX has not broken out of its 15-minute candle range yet. Rut has taken off. Is not playing around. So that would have been now the thing to watch about Russell is when it gets to a certain point, you definitely have to watch it to see if it'll turn around. Right now, it's about to be 10 o'clock. So this candle is about to close. This candle is about to close. So I'll be watching to see what happens on this next candle. But it has a high, right? Well, basically you got a zone. This high over here is 24.28, which is $2 away. High is $2 away. But this 24.30 is a price that has been again with the parity line, it has been touched multiple times. Not even just recently, but we can scroll back kind of far on the 15-minute chart and see. So that's a strong line. So it could turn around right there as well. But for right now, it is broken out of its 15-minute candle for Russell. Right? This is triple Q. Triple Q has gapped up a couple times. What we had for triple Q was these are the gaps. It's the gap. Leg in, base, leg out. So this is a strong leg out. Again, expectations that this would probably come back and bounce here or, stall, depending on what's happening. Start basing, who knows. But for right now, it's at an all-time high, so there's no seller zone established. But what we know about this candle so far on the day is that you have indecision because of this small doji candle. The body of this candle is kind of tight together. So the buyers are down here, the sellers are up here. They're kind of fighting over the value of that price. So nothing has been really been established in terms of direction for this morning. So that'll continue because we all know at any given time that could switch. But based on what we just saw for earnings, there's no major heavy hitters stepping in. So this could be an interesting day. Also, this is another cheer formation. Now I'm just going to put a dash on here because this is because it's close to this zone. And this could be done two ways. Some people would do leg in, base, leg out for a cheer formation. And some people would do it this way. And use this as a leg in. This was a gap up. So leg in, two in the base, leg out. All of that just depends on what your perception is. I'm fine with going this way because I figure with this push up right here, that is part of this leg. So I consider this a strong leg in. That's the way my brain is wired to notice that. This push up happened, this gap up happened, and makes this candle basically longer. If I was doing the math on the price action, I would include it on this leg. So for me, this is a strong leg in, base, and a leg out. But so that's why I'm marking it that way. But there's no sellers at the top of there. So if I was looking at this, I'll be looking at a put credit spread. Let me see what the option chain is saying for this morning. I'll be looking around 523. Yeah. It's probably going to be about what, 7 cents? Ooh, nice. 9 cents. So this is a one spread, 523 minus 522. You can always increase that if you want 10% on the collateral. Give you $10 collected on $100 collateral. You make sure you close for less than 10. That's what I would be doing, closing for less than 10. But it's one way of doing it. And of course, there are plenty of different ways to try to guess, some type of price point or something where you can be above price. We're not going to go through that here, but there are different tools that people do use to find those numbers that are above current price. But the ones that's clearer are the ones that we're focused on right now. So three more things before we let you go. So let's take a look, see. We got the SPX playbook. The secret to making 10% profits every single day. It's $27 now. It's on spxplaybook.net. spxplaybook.net. Please do not go to .com. This spxplaybook.net. Now I can assure you that what you're going to read here is not just being used by people in our ecosystem, but there are people in other ecosystems that have taken the information here and tweaked it to whatever trading style they use. So this is not just something that our general membership is using. That I can state for a fact because we know the people who are who are posting what they're doing with the strategies. So also the membership, the option sellers on membership, where you can learn and trade and profit the seller's way. We sell options, not buy them. There's a supportive community for trading. We have strategies for less screen time, which the SPX playbook would be an example of that. Obviously, to try to get daily profits to grow your account. There's training and support. We usually have Saturday trainings, for example, outside of the various other activities that we do. Educator to trader.com. That's educator, the number 2, trader.com. Okay, that's where you can go to join the membership. Good morning, Canvas Culture 23. So let's take a look at what's going on with our indexes. The Dow Jones is up slightly, 0.03%. S&P 500 is down 0.12%. The NASDAQ is basically unchanged. Russell 2K is up 0.70%, which is what we have seen in the chart with the 15-minute breakout, with it breaking out much higher than the S&P 500, or shall I say, breaking out of its 15-minute range before SPX. The VIX is up 5.17%. It is at 13.43. All right. Be on the lookout for information about Amazon. As we talked about before, Amazon is increasing their Amazon Air, Amazon the deliveries drones. They are increasing their the cities that they're doing the delivery drones at. So that's something to be aware of, because that is news that can affect the Amazon charts. And we all know it could be positive news or negative news, but that'll be something to look at in the charts. Okay. E2T daily declaration by faith. I'm a successful trader. I'm a wise and knowledgeable trader. I make smart and lucrative decisions for my portfolios. Money likes me because money is comfortable around me. It is drawn to me. E2T daily prayer. Lord, give us wisdom and knowledge for our trades today. Help us to make smart and lucrative decisions for our portfolios. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. And don't forget to at least check investing.com's economic calendar. And one other thing, if you plan on getting in around 11:30, we do have these last three things happening. The bill auctions, but the New York Fed 1-year consumer inflation expectations. That's not to say that it will cause volatility, but at least be aware that it is happening. Okay. You all have a great and profitable day. Stay green, get this money, and let us know with a comment in the comment area, or tag us in Telegram if you have any questions. Okay. Thank you very much. You all have a good one.